breaking news from our nation's capital. A major landmark decision from the Supreme Court on the final day of its term. In a 6-3 vote, justices issuing a ruling on a closely watched case involving President Trump's move to restrict birthright citizenship, a ruling that will limit federal judges' authority nationwide. Natalie Brand is live at the White House to explain it all. Natalie.
Hi, Marion. President Trump and his attorney general are holding a news conference right now in the White House briefing room, taking some questions. The president calling this a giant win because in this ruling, the justices did expand presidential power, but they did not rule on the merits of the president's executive order regarding birthright citizenship. The dissenting justices, meanwhile, call this an attack on the system of law.
In a 6-3 decision, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Friday to limit the power of judges to issue nationwide injunctions to block a president's executive order. The opinion, written by Justice Amy Coney Barrett, split along the court's ideological lines. Says in part, these injunctions, known as universal injunctions, likely exceed the equitable authority that Congress has granted to federal courts.
She's also saying very clearly that when people walk into federal court now and they ask for relief of an executive order, they cannot get these universal injunctions anymore. Instead, courts are limited in the scope, the remedy that they can provide.
The ruling did not touch the issue of birthright citizenship, protected by the Constitution's 14th Amendment. In the dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor writes, "No right is safe in the new legal regime the court creates."
Federal judges in Washington, Maryland, and Massachusetts blocked that policy nationwide, saying it violates the Constitution. Their injunctions escalated all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court, calling into question the power of a single lower court judge to block a presidential policy.
The Trump administration's emergency appeal said the lower court's ruling should only apply to individual cases, not the whole country.
In recent months, we've seen a handful of radical left judges effectively try to overrule the rightful powers of the president to stop the American people from getting the policies that they voted for in record numbers.
In the dissents, what you saw was an argument that, okay, yes, there is a proper process, but there are certain cases where it would be appropriate for a single court to issue a nationwide injunction.
The fight over nationwide injunctions goes back years, with presidents from both parties criticizing them, but the issue has been amplified by the Trump administration, facing more than 200 legal challenges so far.
And the president, during the news conference, which is still ongoing, says that now his administration can proceed with numerous policies that were blocked by these nationwide injunctions, including his birthright citizenship order. The Supreme Court, this ruling allows the administration to come up with guidance over the next 30 days of how it would enforce that order, Mary. But more litigation is expected to challenge this at various levels.
And Natalie, I think the big question here is, what does this mean for the birthright citizenship order moving forward?
Yeah, so again, now individual states can go back and potentially refile challenges asking for more narrow injunctions to block it at individual state levels. Another thing that's been talked about is a class action lawsuit to really block it indefinitely. So I think what we can expect, all the legal analysts expecting a lot more litigation, and then we'll have to go and see if this issue goes back before the Supreme Court with a challenge that doesn't focus specifically on the issue of nationwide injunctions, but again, the merits of the president's executive order, which was not decided in this major ruling today, Mary.
Natalie Brand, live in Washington for us. Natalie, thank you. And CBS investigative reporter Masa Saidi is digging into the effects it will have for families here in the tri-state area. Look for her report today on CBS New York at 5.